Hi, Carina. How are you doing?
Hello, Paula. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm so thrilled having you in my Healing Naturally group because your topic, Carina, is, so important. Break fear, you call it, right? Your program, Break
Yes,
Fear and how to manage fear. And as long as we're human beings, we're always subject to feeling fear.
yes,
Sometimes we need to act on it. We have to put things into action, being afraid, and I guess that's courage. But can you explain why you picked this topic? How to manage our fears?
Okay, so my topic is break fear and find freedom, right? So what I'm talking about is we're all afraid, and I've always been afraid, right? And to find the freedom is important, but sometimes the fear, you just like change it and morph it and see the blessings, and then with that you find the freedom, because there's freedom. It means different things to different people. So I went through it, but this actual break fear was born out of me. I'm writing my book. I'm busy editing it, but out of me, 2 years ago, I was arrested. No, I didn't kill anybody. I was arrested for immigration.
Well, you can be arrested for many things, but it's interesting because that is a situation that gets you scared, right?
Yes, right.
Sometimes when I speed a little bit and I see the flashing lights, you start trembling, right?
Yes, well, it was really scary. And I was arrested and I was in detention for 8.5 months. And during that time, I had to face a lot of fears. But I also learned a lot of how to face my fears and how to change them and how to make them beautiful, really, and how to find the blessings within the fear. So this is what the whole concept is about, really, is how to find the blessings within your fear. And a lot of people go like, how? What is wrong with you? You can't do that. But you can.
You can. And this is the nice thing, that we're bringing all these practitioners into Healing Naturally, because when you have your own success story, I was in this place, I was arrested by the police, okay? And then I found a blueprint, I found a way to change, to shift, to overcome. Yes. And now I'm a conqueror and I can teach this to others, right? This is what you're trying to do.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a wonderful opportunity, okay? And I'm going to make myself available just for you to show our audience and all the members in our group that is growing every day, and also on my YouTube channel and other places that you will want to share this video. Could you show what kind of intervention you use with somebody that you're helping break free from fear? And I'm going to give you an example. I have, well, I could give you two, but I think that we have time to just work with one. The main one that I'm working currently is, I lost a brother when he was very little. I didn't tell Vanessa the other day when I interviewed her for her book, because she lost her son, unfortunately. And my prayers goes to her and all women that have mothers that have lost children.
Oh, yes.
But I didn't lose a child, but I lost my little brother. We were a family of 6, and there was a big difference in age. So I was a little bit her mother too. And the pain was incredible because it was also an accident, like it happened to Vanessa's child. And, you can never recover from that loss. But then that fear, because the grief is so intense that you are afraid of going through that again. And it happens to me because I have 2 children, but they are teenagers now, 18 and 16. But they are girls, and girls, of course, are more vulnerable for other things than boys that can defend themselves more. So I'm always worried, Emily, where are you? Are you staying there? did you go to Chicago? What's going on? And, she says, Mom, you cannot be a control freak. None of the mothers of the teenagers that I'm with are asking where they are, what they are doing. But it's all because I have this pent up fear that something wrong, that I will get a call like that day that they told us that my brother was not breathing. And I don't want to get a call like that. So I'm always in fear. What would you do with me if I told you that in a session?
Okay, first of all, my condolences. And I'm also a mother, and I know, I've got my son, and I'm also, it's a mother thing. But obviously, because of where you're at, it makes a difference on the way you parent and the way you do things. So first of all, I'd say, take a breath. So take a deep breath.
I'm going to do it. I'm doing what you're saying. Deep breath.
Very deep breath. And then just breathe and just let your shoulders relax, right? Can you feel your shoulders? We need our shoulders to just
yes,
just relax, because most of the time we like this all the time because of our tension.
Tell me about it.
Now, I want you to, just for one moment, when you think of your brother, what do you think of? What is the first thing that comes to your mind, and where do you feel that pain?
Well, he was so incredibly loving and always happy. He was the happiest child that I ever met, because he had 2 loving parents and 5 siblings that were, he was the apple of our eye. He was so adorable, and he loved horses. And, I come originally from Argentina, a province of Cordoba, which is horse land.
Beautiful.
Horse country. And yes, it's beautiful, mountainous region. It's idyllic. And he was always with horses, and he wanted to have his own horse, but he was only 4 when he died. So my father was going to get him a horse, but he didn't get to have it. But he had his wooden horse that he would ride at home, and he was just such a source of love and peace that what was more heart-wrenching for me was not to have that in my life anymore. And I did not know whether I was going to have it, because I was single back then. But then when my daughters were born, I realized that I loved him as one of my daughters. It's that kind of love that you can have just for a child of your own, I believe.
Yes. So if you think back, so what I'm hearing now is that he actually, you thought he was like the biggest example of love and happiness and opportunity and radiance and all these beautiful things. Where would you feel if you felt all those emotions? Where would you feel them in your body? Where do they reside? Where do they live?
I believe they reside in my heart. I know it's not the organ, right? Our heart is the core of our emotions are in our mind and emotions, right? So, but I would touch my heart because it's like the core of your body. It's the same love when you're head over heels in love with somebody, like my husband and my girls, But for instance, my husband, because he never went through what I went, he never lost somebody, he is not afraid. He's during the same period of time that one of our girls is out in a different city or something, he is just reading the newspaper, watching a movie, and I'm always, worrying. I'm a warrior. And, you know, the other night when we experienced this horrible tragedy in Waukesha, in Wisconsin, during a Christmas parade, then I started thinking, oh my God, my girls could have been there. And what a tragedy if they would have been victims. And then, of course, my heart goes out to those families. And that's why I wanted to interview Vanessa, because I'm hoping to reach out to those families with a resource and with somebody that can help them out during a period of such deep grief. But I cannot help feeling afraid. And you cannot rationalize your fears, because I know it's unfounded. I have faith in God. I pray their guardian angels. I know that most likely they will be safe, but I'm, you know, it's one of my weaknesses, I have to admit. And that's why I feel very vulnerable, and I'm willing to share this vulnerability with our group, because, you know, you and some other people can help me, and we can help each other with our programs. This is the whole purpose of Healing Naturally.
Yes, yes, yes. So, okay, let me ask you another question. If you think about the possibilities, because now, like I said, you thought that your brother was like the be all and end all. He was love, right? He was love personified. And now you can feel the same for your children. So obviously you're taking that fear that you lost him and you're putting it onto your children, which is a natural thing, right? So what I'm asking you is, if you think about your girls, what is it that you're afraid of, besides them something terrible happening? But
it is true, I guess. Well, you know, that they can get lost, that there's human trafficking. I go all the way to extremes, you know, because they are very light, thin kind of girls. I sometimes think, well, somebody can grab them, even if they are 16, they are like a feather. So it's, you know, I need to stop or breaking that fear, like you are suggesting. And, you know, but those are the types of things that sometimes happen to me or come to my mind.
Yes, yes. So what is the very worst thing that can happen?
Getting kidnapped, or getting killed, or getting raped. Notice that these are things that happen more to women and not so much to men. So I guess it's because, and I'm not all the time, you know, reading the news, or because I protect my mind from that. I have had enough coaching, and I got my mentor. So I have created my world around me with good input most of the time. But you can't help sometimes going in the car. I try to check the news because I have to be familiar with what is going on. And then you come across these stories. And so you have to, like, I'm trying to strike a balance between not ignoring everything and not taking everything, but at the same time, when something happens, not be naive that it will never happen to me or to my girls. So, but John, my husband, he, you know, he's oblivious. He is not in fear. He's not afraid. He trusts that they will have the good judgment, that we have raised them with the tools to, you know, take care of themselves and not put themselves in a situation of risk. And that's it. I wish I was like him, but I'm not.
What I'm saying to you as well is, if you think about the worst that can happen, it's interesting that you spoke. I'm just going to go. It's interesting that you spoke about having faith and having a higher power and whatever. And I'm going to just throw something out here to you and say, if you have so much faith in your higher power, why is it that you don't have faith enough for them to be able to faith enough in yourself that you've taught them well enough. You're a mother, right? You've taught them well enough, and you know that you've taught them how to behave, how to see that there's danger. You've taught them all those things. And I'm not saying that it won't happen, because things happen, right? But surely if you have that faith and you can say, you know what, I trust in myself.
Yes.
I know that I've given them the best tools, because and I know that I love them enough to be able to protect them from afar. So if I can send them that protection as a loving thing, because I'm not saying you don't love your children, but think about what kind of energy you're giving them by worrying about them.
Yes.
You're just piling all this negative energy into them, right?
Yes.
And
well, I try not to, but of course, energy goes around, energy, even if they don't know it.
Yes.
But yes. I have my own tactics, my own strategies to always turn it around into, Lord, I trust you. I know that they will be fine. It's like at the surface level that I have this fear, and I want it to go away. So I guess I'm going to enroll in your program when you have it ready, because you're launching it in 2022, you said?
Yes, in January, yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about your program, and then maybe I will be your first student. I'm going to sign up.
So I'm launching it in what's the 6th, I think, of January. It's a group program. So where we work a lot on finding the fears like this. I'm sorry, like 12. So we need to find the fears. We need to speak to each other. We need to understand where they're coming from, right? And then from there we can find the blessings, because no matter what it is, there's always blessings within a fear. And we'll probably, if we had more time and we could dig deeper, we'd find the blessings. And also to be able to shift that and make it into something good. So that's the basis of the program. It's going to be a 12-week program, and we'll do a lot of, there'll be community. So you'll be connecting with each other, and we'll be doing also a lot of meditation, because obviously a lot of this work is easier if you do it in meditation and you go to the deepest part of you, because surface level, you can talk, we can talk and we can say, but it's not, you don't get those changes that you want. Exactly. Because what I believe is you have to go to the source. So we know that what happened to you is your brother died, and that's, so we have to deal with that issue, and then everything changes. So we have to find the source of the problem, of the challenge, and then work from there. So that's the kind of things that we're going to be doing. And, we'll be doing community, and I'm hoping to have an event after that. But, it also depends on what kind of people come in, and, it's more about working together and seeing what the group really needs, like you are doing now. So, yes.
Exactly. Well, it's very interesting. And what I always tell people in our group when I want to interview them, because I find their topic so interesting and so necessary during these times. So you will be in high demand, I believe, given what is going on in the world with the pandemic and post-pandemic and all those things. People live in fear, and I believe that up to a certain extent, and I'm not being political or anything, but governments and countries, they use this fear also to control us. So it's very important that we kind of detach ourselves and create that space, like I'm trying to create with my girls, not to be so much dominated by that fear that comes up to the surface almost automatically in me. So I wanted to just give a first taste of what your program would be, so people are interested. And maybe in January we can have another discussion when you have it all wrapped up, and maybe somebody else can volunteer to be the one that is afraid, and you give a little bit of a free intervention there, and we create more interest and draw attention to your program, because it's really, really important, Carina.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula. And if you know that I've got a I've got a podcast where I've interviewed all sorts of people. I've interviewed doctors and addicts, and they all bring their own fear strategies, which is pretty cool. So you can go and listen to that. And I'm also offering, if you see us, I sent you the link for a 30-minute free fear reveal session. So if anyone's interested, they can just go click on there and make an appointment, and
we will include those links so people can contact you below this video. Okay,
yes.
They will be able to
thank you
and contact you. But I appreciate immensely being with us today, and we'll see each other in the group. Okay.
Thank you so much, Paula. It was an honor to be here, and thank you for the time. It's been
thank you
really
very much,
awesome.
Carina.
Thank you. Bye.